Yo, welcome to Code Talk, your accountable masculinity platform. And tonight's discussion is going to be about navigating the pros and cons of being a stepfather. So, I got a couple, thoughts that should go with this, and I'm trying to get it pulled up. How y'all doing this evening? Waiting on Drew to get over here. What are you up to? Man, how's everybody's uh week going so far? Whenever you guys get in the chat. Boom, boom, boom. Trying to get my what's up, man?
Yes, sir.
Hey, yeah, I'm trying to get
Back
my notes.
again.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm trying to get my notes pulled up. For whatever reason, um my notes signed out on my computer. But I'm about
I
to get
hate
back
when
up.
I get aggravated when anything signs out on my phone.
Man, look, when you
Who
gotta
told
go
you to do
back
that?
and change passwords and then you gotta prove that you the same person.
Yo, I know I'm probably about to sound real silly,
Man, no, go ahead. Be silly.
but that little password lock feature on the iPhone,
Yeah.
that'll save your life. You got to put all your passwords in there.
You know what, man? I know what you're talking about because I have always had like different passwords for different things.
Yep.
Because some of them want you to have with and without characters or whatever. So I
Uh-huh.
create like a dummy password, and then if I got to make a tweak here and there, I can over time because they
Yep.
want you to update your password on the platform here. You know what I'm saying? And it gets annoying. Like right now, I'm updating. I'm not gonna update this because this thing might sign me out, man. Because you know, I'm not even playing with it. This is why on social media wind up getting all the other content. Because like you got to have some place to store stuff,
Yep.
and because of this, we got different ways we move information around, different ways to have a certain conversation and stuff now. So, like with tonight's conversation about the pros and cons of being a stepfather, this is one of those times where we got to make sure we communicate effectively. Because what were you about to say before I said put a pin in that?
Yo, I saw the picture of this girl. She went to two baby showers at two different locations.
Yeah, yeah.
Same girl, different guys. Now it was on the internet, so somebody could have been chopping and screwing some stuff. But I got a hearty laugh at about 8:30 this morning today.
So, like with all intents and purposes, we just gonna assume that it was real because for the sake of conversation, what I'm
Yeah.
saying, simulate anything. But like, I
But
found, but before you complete that thought, right? Because I want to be able to let you just talk it out, right? So tonight's discussion is about navigating the pros and cons of being a stepfather. Are you a stepfather or considering becoming one? It's a complex role that can bring unique challenges and rewards. In this episode of Code Talk, the Accountable Masculinity Platform, we'll discuss the pros and cons of being a stepfather and offer guidance on how to navigate this important role in a blended family. Some of the pros and cons of being a stepfather include the opportunity to be a positive male role model for your stepchildren, the chance to create a new family dynamic, and the potential for personal growth and learning. However, there are also challenges to contend with, including navigating complex relationships with ex partners, dealing with difficult behavior from stepchildren, and managing the emotions of everyone involved. Join us as we delve into these issues and offer practical advice on how to be the best stepfather you could be. We'll provide guidance on building strong relationships with stepchildren, communicating effectively with all members of the family, and finding balance in taking on your new role. So, the talking points tonight are the pros of being a stepfather, the cons, the risks, and how to build a strong relationship with stepchildren, effective communication in a blended family. So we may or may not get to every single one of those, but because I think the general conversation that I know we're gonna have is still gonna fall within those guidelines. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're
So
probably gonna brush up against
we
most of
probably
them.
we're probably
Yeah,
gonna brush right on them because
yeah,
like, and I want to say this also: the stepfather is part of the community, is part of the organic fabric in society, whether people want to accept it or not, because there's no pressure on stepmothers. There's always pressure on men to become stepfathers before women are encouraged to be stepmothers. Okay. So the pressure
yeah.
is way different. You don't hear men saying, "What a stepmama's at."
Mm.
I,
Yeah.
but it's been stepdaddy season every year of my life. You know what I'm saying? When has it never been stepdaddy season?
And this year round. It's not a, it's not a season, it's a lifestyle apparently.
Right. It's not associated with the travel path of the moon. It don't have a holiday, you know, like,
No.
because it should be recognized outside of it, you know, and I think that this discussion is very important because a lot of people mismanage it. They look at it wrong, and I think the wrong people try to slap things together sometimes. And I, for one, don't believe that the Brady Bunch model of it is what works for our people. Some people still make it work because, everybody got different philosophies about being like-minded. You know what I'm saying? Because there are some successful blended families out there. But on the note of what you're talking about with the baby shower,
Yeah, so
how does that fit into this dynamic?
because somebody about to be a stepdaddy in that situation.
I love the answer, man.
Because she just sexually undisciplined. She she done been on both sides of town, right? So now she done had to call 2 cake decorators. She done had to call 2 DJs, 2 caterers. What are we doing? So now, if this happens to be true and we find out later on that, okay, I saw that this morning. By now these guys got to know these pictures exist because it's been all over. She's had somebody called her already.
Yeah. Hey, for those of y'all just tuning in, we're talking about navigating the pros and cons of being a stepfather. And one of the first examples we're talking about is this social media post that went around where this lady was at 2 separate baby showers, because she don't know which one, what I'm saying, is the father, I'm assuming.
Yeah, so she getting, and see, it's one thing to just put it on the dude, right? Like you out here getting double gifts. You, it's gonna be a whole side of a family that's gonna want to see you.
Hey, it's really scamming.
Yeah, that's what we had though. I mean, it's scam season just like stepdad season. It's a lifestyle. It's never off. But on a more serious note, the topic we finna get into today, I feel like I might have a master's degree in it.
Oh man, look, well, so let's start off with the first talking point, right? The pros of being a stepfather. Hang on, I'm about to update that right here. What are the pros of being a stepfather? Boom. There you go. Take off, man. Oh no. Drew, come back. Yeah, technical difficulty. It was just about to get busy. I know it. So, for those of y'all that are listening and watching, if you got a chance, here we go.
All right, my bad.
Yeah. To everybody that's watching, y'all are welcome to answer the question too, in the chat. To the people that are showing up on YouTube, I appreciate you for paying attention and checking in to see what we got going on, man. But man, go ahead, take off.
Well, what you know, there's a few pros to being a stepfather. You know, first the first one is obviously being able to see some children grow up. You know, that's a wonderful thing to see, whether you're somebody's father or not. Just seeing the child evolve through life and seeing what they end up jumping off into in adulthood. Another pro is you learn some stuff about yourself as a stepfather, right? Even if you have kids yourself, you get to see parenting from a different perspective. You only know the parent in the way that you parent. So in being a stepfather, you get to watch your woman, how what her parenting style is. Maybe you can steal some of her style and use them, you know, in the way you parent your own children. A
Yeah,
third one is just being able to pass on something to multiple households without that sounding crazy. I don't want that to sound crazy, but being able to, you know, ain't nothing wrong with busting your legacy down and splitting it another way. So if you were able to impact your children as well as somebody else's children and their children, that's, you know, you might have two lineages going at one time, because if you are with them long enough, depending on the age you ran into them, you you be, they become you in some ways if they're absorbing what you're trying to teach them. And if the mom is on course with what you with the way you're trying to lead the household, then those kids are going to benefit from that.
I can see that because why do it if you don't want to do it? If
Right.
like give it your full attention. If it's important. But sadly, a lot of people don't look at it that way. They make concessions, or they maybe they don't think about like the kids and what's healthy for them, because people choose what I'm saying, the wrong partner a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what I'm saying, and sometimes that's when you have to start looking at the cons, because in the pros of it, I get what you're saying, like being able to teach somebody something useful, whether they your kid or not. That's still that's still I believe it's a privilege to a degree. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
It is.
It's a degree of trust. And I know that um there's some people who are going to be like, this is some simp type of discussion or whatever. But like, when has the stepfather never been part of society?
They had to throw a name on there for a reason.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like Joseph was a stepdad.
Off the rip, he the goat, because he nah, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. No, sir.
Ah,
Nope. You can't
that's a
have it
dark.
both ways.
That's a real dark path. You know what I'm
No, you
saying?
can't
Like,
have it both ways, shorty.
hey,
I'm sorry.
hey, man, look, because that'll
No.
answer a whole lot of questions.
Yeah, you're not gonna
But
tell me I'm first and you pregnant already. No, no, man. No, ma'am.
what?
Nope.
Where could that excuse work?
No, in the Bible. That's it. That's it. That's it, man. That's the only place. The only place you can get that one off. No, sir.
But we ain't saying it can't happen, but it can
could.
only happen here.
Not over here. It can't happen over here. No. No, sir.
It's just nowhere possible.
No,
It's just
we can't. We can't. But like you were saying, the stepfather has been around long as the father have. Like you can't have, you know what I mean? Dude's been sliding for a long time.
Yeah, like
so. I mean, when I great granddad was stepdad. I didn't know that till a little on down the line.
yeah.
But You know what I'm saying? He won blood, but it wasn't you. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Somebody had to tell me that. So they tell you something. It was never one treated like that, and they treated him like he was blood. So he was around for 60 years probably.
yeah. That is an absolute fact. When you
So
find out,
he is one of the pros. Like you, I would when I talk about pros, I
oh man, don't tell me we love. Do are we struggle streaming or is it me struggle streaming? Which one is it? It's a lot of volume on the web right now potentially, but we're gonna still get through it. Hopefully, Drew can probably disconnect and come back because he's right. Like it has the stepfather role has always been around since the father because many things take fathers away. Always has, you know. Uh, and I don't know if that is it should be had, but tonight we haven't it because it's been part of the fabric of how we communicate. This is how we understand families. This is how we put it all together and figure out what's the best course of action if you are to start a family and if you are to develop a relationship with uh, a woman that has kids from a pre-existing relationship, or what if you are the person with kids from a pre-existing relationship? How does that affect you? I don't know too many men that end up um, being single fathers due to either a divorce or being widowed or and ending up with custody, and women are looking for that specific type of man that already has kids. But that same man who already has kids is always um, is always pressured more to become a stepfather. In any given situation, that man is always has to be in position to accept somebody else's kids. Whereas, like, there's not a conversation about you know women stepping in and taking responsibility of some other man's kids. It's it's an alternative reality, because it's not a regular discussion, and that's what we kind of bring up things over here to put things in perspective. Um, so we're waiting on Drew to get back, but the cons of being a stepfather is probably that's the next topic once we can get him back online and let him run it because this stuff comes with risks. Like I've seen plenty of videos that line up the cons, and when you start looking at the risks, you got personal safety, you got um, so many more things that can happen. You can deal with um, law enforcement unintendedly, just a lot of unintended consequences. So when you start breaking this thing down into a better understanding, everybody's unique experience is going to be completely different on on how it works or is it worth doing? And in most cases, it's not. That's what the vast majority would say because like people are going to highlight their preferences, being rooted in something that they can have effective equity in terms of a relationship, which is centered on you know trust and being able to have the right measure the right measure of control. You want to be respected. You also want to be able to um, be seen as adequate. So on the pros of it, you know, it's a utopian view, and it's relative because everybody has what they consider to be successful, and those things that the people consider to be successful for them are their pros. I do believe that in the larger makeup, the pros revolve around creating productive, young, functioning adults. Young, functioning people that become responsible adults that add to society. Because nobody's going to be mad at productive children that have been raised by step parents. I think we all benefit. I think it's definitely a risk. It's always going to be a risk with everything because you can have your own children, and if you're not performing well, or if you enable negative behavior from your own children, then you're not necessarily benefiting from that situation either. So I think it's a hit or miss. I think it's a test of leadership in some ways for some people. Um, and more people will quit and say, take the short route and say, man, just go, you know, find somebody that is younger than you or whatever. Well, some people are not necessarily attracted to that. And as you get a little bit older, it depends on what you care more about too. Some people care way more about the romantic side of the relationship, whereas some people care more about having a partner that helps them, and fills in the gap, that wants to be complementary to their leadership. So you're not gonna always find that in the same person, and that's the whole point of like why we have a ongoing discussion about men of the stepfathers and why it happens that way. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. We're just getting started on this topic, and for the people that just got here, we are talking about navigating the pros and cons of being a stepfather. And Drew um, drops his he dropped a couple of nuggets of information before he had a untimely error with the internet. But by the time he get back, he'll be catching up because we're gonna talk about the cons of being a stepfather. Um, I got something I'm gonna pull up for you guys to see, and let's see here. Mm, it's an old video, um, and I want to make sure that I don't pull up something that gets my channel banned or but because people pick and choose, algorithms pick and choose what's dangerous for the timeline, or for the channel. All right, so let me see. I just found it. This thing happened in like November 2021. So I'm going to show the screen of a Facebook post that I made that time frame. All right. So everybody can see that, I think. All right. So if you can read it. So the story goes is this right here. Let me click this first. Share this tab instead. Boom. All right. So you can see that there are two men on the porch having a what appears to be a war of words, and it's happened in Lubbock, Texas, in November of 2021. And so I'm gonna read it out. On Wednesday, the wife of Chad Reed, a man shot and killed November 5th, released a video of the confrontation leading up to and the shooting itself. So the video was released by attorney Matthew L. Harris, who is representing Reed's widow, Jennifer. It was released in conjunction with a petition that seeks to take custody of Chad's children from his ex-wife, Christina. Let's see what the video says. He was saying he was supposed to have him at 3:15. He's there to go pick up his son, based on a child custody agreement.
end game's telling me that I can pick him up at 6. I'm going to have to come. I've already got the pump on the way to your mom's house. Because that's probably where he is. It's not when I'm done working. I get him at 3:15. I get him at 3:15. I don't care if you wanted to see him or not. I get him at 3:15. If you want to see him, you see him up until 3:15. You keep trying to keep my son from me. I'm fixing to drag you and Anne Marie and everybody else into court. I'm subpoenaing your mom. I'm subpoenaing Anne Marie. This is on video. I'm very please do it. Right you gotta use it, mother. God damn it, I'll take it from you.
Call the police. Call 911. Call 911. Call 911.
All right. He just fired a warning shot at the guy's feet. You see what's going on? He was supposed to get his son at 3:15, and the ex-wife is saying that he wasn't going to be available until 6.
Call 911.
All right, we'll go that far with it. So let's see here. So at that point, the man was shot. That's just what happened. He was shot, and he was just trying to pick up his kid. You know, so I in turn write this. Let's see. Fellas, the father was killed while trying to pick his son up for what is a soon-to-be visitation. The man that did the shooting is an example of when you decide to be a step-parent. You better be ready for all that comes with it. Regardless of how it plays out in court, a lot of people's lives have been changed forever. Be careful who you have your kids with, fellas, and be careful which woman you choose that already has kids. You can't predict how that co-parent will handle themselves in high-stress situations. So, ladies, if you're in the middle of situations like this involving men that are trying to be active fathers, you can learn from this video too. A lot of y'all are at the center of familiar domestic conflicts like this. You see how the lady in the camera was like, call 911? That's because what they should have done from the beginning, that's what they should have done from the beginning once they realized that the kid wasn't there. Both men were in rage mode, and the women didn't do anything to diffuse the situation. Sometimes you bring more chaos than help, and don't get involved until after the situation gets pushed overboard. Women that sit back like these ladies did and don't have code, I don't care who doesn't like it either. Purchase my books. So I just played. You remember that video of that guy that was trying to pick up his son, and he got shot by the lady that, he got shot by the ex-wife's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was like November 21.
That was crazy, man.
That was so crazy, right? I know
crazy.
You had seen it before, but that was so crazy because, like, you hear people all the time talk about the difficulty you have, in trying to, like, be a solid co-parent,
Right.
and that's like since the beginning of time. That's always been there. But when we start talking about the cons of being a stepfather, this is like the thing that's at the top of my list.
Yeah, you could die being a stepdad. You literally could.
That's a real hard pill.
Yeah, you could die doing it.
Because despite all of the pros, your life on the line.
Yep.
If you got the wrong situation too, Mm-hmm. So, and this is the immediate threat, which comes with like what I spoke on earlier when I wrote the narrative. Well, when I read the narrative for tonight's show, is there's a lot of conflicts with the co-parent,
Yeah.
In potential for conflict anyway. And then when it does get past a certain level, you know what I'm saying? It's man, with men, it's just a life or death situation right away.
And I think that's one thing that we skip over when we go into being a stepdad is, or when we the you got to be over that part. It can't be no conflict.
No,
That's
because
the
everybody don't deal with it the same way.
that's the only way to do it. That's the only way to do it. It has to be non-confrontational before that person decides to start dating with somebody. That thing has to be all the way resolved. If not, somebody could die.
And that's kind of like just point blank at it too, man.
Yeah,
Because
but we skip over that part because as the stepfather, you try to be neutral. At least I tried to be. I don't want to. It's already hot right there. I've been through that situation before. When you divorcing somebody, y'all got a kid. It ain't going the smoothest. I understand how it is. So you kind of just want to stand back and let them handle that situation. But a lot of
yeah,
times, the guy that's the biological father, he just got smoke for anybody that walk past the lady and breathe hard.
facts.
So sometimes you have to just, hey, not right now, man. Holler at me in another 6 months or a year. Let that bubble down. Those type of situations, I wouldn't suggest you even try to venture into, because at some point, no matter how reserved the person is, if somebody keeps shooting at you, you're gonna want to shoot back at some point. But I
And
think
some people just looking for a reason too.
yeah, because I done already, they people just willing to crash out. Or you think you just finna come take my girl, like it's always you taking my family type situation. I didn't have that type of interaction, but I've seen how that can go left. But that should be the very first thing on the list for people, single people with children. Before you go to date that next person, you got to be on some level of civilness with the parent.
Man, I think that's so vital because a lot of the conflicts that, excuse me, that a lot of parents and children have and go through stem from bringing unhealthy partnership with other men or other women that are not the child's father, or you know what I'm saying, into that situation. Because you mixing a lot of different things, man. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. It's like you don't know what their problem solving capability is. You don't know how they was raised. You know what I'm saying? And when you start getting into it, everybody don't have the same tools. They don't have the same connection to the environment that you have. It's not that they're clueless, but everybody don't have, you know what I'm saying, enough emotional intelligence to, you know what I'm saying, make the same decision that would amount to peace. They don't have to make the decision that you make,
Right,
but there's a peaceful way to navigate the situation. You know what I'm saying? And somebody, but what you can't control is other people, and you can't control, you know what I'm saying, what their threshold for violence might be.
right. That's true, because everybody's reaction to situations become different, and you have to learn all of that on the fly. That's I guess the kind of dangerous part of it is that you learning all this stuff as you go. You don't know how the children react to stuff and all of that, and then it's only so long you can date their mother. You may meet the kids a few times. Like it's not like it's different when you living with them. Like, yeah, y'all can go out to dinner or they can come over to your place and kick it for a little bit. But that ain't the same thing as wake up and go to sleep somewhere.
Yeah, it's way different when y'all under the same roof versus you pulling up, you know what I'm saying, and dating, you know what I'm saying, and living in separate households. People are very quick to move in with each other when they got
Yeah,
kids.
right.
Uh, and I ain't gonna say it's a sign of desperation in most cases. We know it's got varied reasons. It ain't just boxing to one thing, but ideally you're trying to team up. You know, because I believe that some people that get married versus choosing not to get married, I think they just make different decisions. You know what I'm saying? Because of how they was raised, and then at some point you reach, you know, certain points of friction because their version of what right looks like is grossly incompatible with yours.
Yeah, in most cases it is.
Because you're gonna wind up seeing everybody boundaries ain't the same.
Right. And
So
that's where it,
oh man, don't tell me we lost you. Struggle streaming again. Oh man, come back. I gotta.
yeah, because it's stormy here, so it totally knocked me off the last time.
Yeah, man. Look, I think y'all got the weather we had last week.
Yeah, so I had to wait. I had it on the Wi-Fi to crank all the way back up.
Man, stop. I need like lightning to hit. I need Google Fiber to just shoot into the to wherever all the internet goes. You know, I need Google Fire to rain down. That would be great. But um,
What's oh,
yeah, the cons is just crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, which goes into the risk, and I think we kind of already talked about that. You know what I'm saying? Personal safety, but other than personal safety, what are the risks that you would highlight? Oh look, I guess he muted me. So the risk that I would definitely highlight is like the financial costs, the time, the energy. Um, with every um, thing worth having, you have to take certain risks. So everything's a risk when it involves you making provision for someone else, putting yourself on the back burner, um, and putting yourself after everyone else. Not necessarily last, you just kind of get mixed in, but like everyone else has to be handled before you get handled because that's just what leaders do. So I think definitely your resources, you're definitely putting your respect out there and giving people a chance to uh, respect it and what I'm saying, and let you lead or be trampled and have your version and your plan, what I'm saying, somewhat defeated because you can do everything right that makes sense to you and that's applicable, but like when you start thinking about like the cost of what I'm saying, the effort and what you could have put into yourself a little bit more, which is why everybody should be encouraged to work on themselves. um that's a risk, a big one. Once you understand what your purpose is, maybe you don't see it that way, it's still a risk either way, but your purpose being sidetracked or compromised, or even your freedom. I think freedom is at the top of that for me. You know what I'm saying? So um because you can't do anything unless you're available, because availability is the best ability. and and that's part of the risk associated with being a stepfather too. Everything that comes with being a father, but with a high risk and maybe none of the rewards. Some situations you see work out. Shaq had a stepfather, and Shaq has spoken publicly about how his his stepfather has been a major influence in his life. He has never overlooked him. In fact, let me see if I can find a video of him real quick, because it was important that he, as a man at his size, was You know what I'm saying? Taught about um, how to carry himself. Uh, mm, let's see here. All right, hang on a second. Let me say that's too long. It was a real short clip. Let me look on the YouTube shorts real quick. That's all I. You back, Drew? Let's see here. So
juvenile delinquent that could have definitely been in trouble.
let me back this up.
My father used to come into class and whoop me in front.
I want to just say that this isn't the scenario for most people. I just wanted to highlight this one where it works.
Everybody, yeah, a long time ago, but I was a major high-level juvenile delinquent that could have definitely been in trouble all the time. Every time I left the house, it was trials and tribulations for me. Do I put this needle here? Do I smoke this? Do I sell this? Do I carry this gun for this guy? It's every time I left the house. And my father knew I was stubborn and hard-headed. That's why he knew that all the tactics he used on me would definitely work, and it did work. My father taught me not to really cry and be sad. So when he passed away, I really let it go because I didn't get to tell him thank you enough.
Shaquille promised my dad before he died. My dad said, take care of them. And he told him it's in his hands now. So kind of like passing the torch down, so to speak.
You see that I started following you? Okay, good. Make sure you send me stuff. Father told me a long time ago it's a man's job to protect and provide. So now that the Don is gone, second in charge, which is me, I protect and I provide for my family, my brothers and sisters' family, my mother's family. It's what you got to do as a man. Yeah. UCF? Mm-hmm. It's $3,000 right a semester. That's easy. College needs to be paid for. Let the Godfather do it. Need a new car? Let the Godfather do it. And that's my job.
With his stepfather gone, Shaq now feels it's his duty to provide for everyone in the O'Neal family. It is his obligation as a father, brother, son, and leader.
I thought that was a pretty good clip of, one of the pros, the cons, and thinking about the risk because he got a lot of like his stepfather that he acknowledged as his father put in a lot of work and effort with him because you could see it, what Shaq was able to become over time was because he had positive male influence. And that changed the outcome of his family, you know what I'm saying? Because he was willing. He was willing to listen, he was willing to accept it. And he still recognized he had to you know what I'm saying, had to still take care of the family that he created. He had to get the game from somewhere. So
yeah, Shaq talks about his pops all the time, man. I didn't know till Shaq been in the league 10, 15 years that wasn't his real dad. Yeah. He never talked about him like it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
But those like that, see that's one of the super pros what he got because And all of those situations that we see where the stepfather has the influence, it's all predicated on the woman. The woman allows those things to happen. Without her help and communication in between the kids, it won't work.
No.
You won't be able to
And
instill anything in them if you can't instill anything in her.
that's a fact, man, because one of the biggest gaps that I always observe is that it's a lot of parents that try to correct their kids before they correct their own behavior. So
Right.
you got to do it. It's a lot of individual work in that, to actually be respected, when you communicate.
Right, because you see that you want to correct the behavior because you can automatically see it is right there in your face. But that's just how parenting and having children work. Like, they're gonna put a lot of the stuff that you don't want to see right in your face.
Very true. So with that being said, I'm gonna move on to number 4. Because I don't want to play around with the internet. I'm not trying to let it rush us, but we want to make sure we get through these
I have
points.
no Wi-Fi in the crib right now. I had to come outside to get back on 5G.
Man, look, that goes to show you how strong the message is. It got me struggle streaming over here and got you struggle streaming over there. So how to build a strong relationship with stepchildren? Like, what is that adventure like? Because if you between the age of 30 and 40, you probably have dated, somebody that's already got kids and probably already had the adventure.
Majority of who you dated at this point.
Facts.
Because everybody got at least one.
Yeah. There's
Everybody
always
got
an
at least
exception.
one.
But the majority,
The best way I think is to build a relationship is same way you build a relationship with anybody. Learn them, listen to them. When you around them, make that time count, because it be the little stuff. And sometimes if you give them a little understanding, a little grace, what I'm saying, they might hip you on to something that they might not let their mama know about.
Yeah.
But you want to always just let them know that, hey, I know I'm not your, what I'm saying, what you're used to, but I am a resource. I am here if you need XYZ. And you can lean on me the same way you lean on the rest of your family. That's kind of what I'm signing up for, right?
Yeah. You just trying to establish trust.
That's right.
That way you can get some credibility, because if you ain't no credibility in your relationship, man, like them kids gonna exploit it.
Oh, they're gonna be the first one to exploit it, man, because they can see it. They see you coming a mile away. They see you coming a mile away.
You looking like a substitute teacher. You looking like lunch.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot his beak off. I see. Yeah, we not. No, but yeah, that's the give and take. Like, you want to build a strong relationship with them, but you also got let them know that I'm not here for playing.
Yeah, and when you get in a situation like that, you got to be. Sometimes you might end up being in a physical situation. Like Barry was on the other night. You know what I'm saying? Like, he got some stories, man. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes it gets physical. I mean, I've only dealt with girl stepchildren, so I know it's been no physicality. I've had to stop some physicality a few times, but yeah, sometimes, especially with them guys, around a certain age, it may get physical.
It can get spicy. It can get spicy.
Yeah, so, and it can turn into a backyard barbecue with no food. It can turn into that.
Some furniture can get moved.
Yeah, so, and it might be yours out the house. Stephanie, you got to, like, sometimes you take 2 L's and you just got to go. You got to get off the floor and go.
You got to go. Hey, look, let me say this: you can't go to somebody else's house to step parent, though.
No
way.
No
way.
No.
Because
you just visiting. It can always be checkout time for you.
You just visited.
Now you got to clear that up. You got to get on the neutral playing field, or you got to be playing home court.
Yeah.
One of the two. It's either home court or neutral site.
You can't
cannot
need a place to stay and think you're gonna be a step parent.
No. Now homosexuals don't make good step parents.
Nah, fam. Like no. You're gonna get thrown out. By
because
kids.
they gonna line you up.
Yep. And they gonna lie on you
where you stayed at last week. And then you're gonna be ready to put your hands up. That don't work. They got it because that's where the first level of respect come in. Like, okay, hey, that's the first boundary you ain't even got to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I walked your suitcase in.
Yeah. So let me read this up here. With Scott Feather. He said he's a stepfather, but he's been involved since the child was very, very young. His family, on the other hand, grew from 2 to 4 because my kids from a previous marriage came to live with us. So my wife's ability to adapt was commendable. But cost, yes, our marriage changed drastically when this happened, and we are still working on making our marriage a focus. We love our kids, but if the marriage isn't healthy, it's tough to be good parents, step parents.
Because you get lost. And they say they got 4. They don't see each other every day.
No, they don't. Hey, Scott just came through, dropped off a word problem. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
yeah, he did. Yeah, but that's it right there. He did. He had somebody punctuation on point and everything. But yeah, you seeing your wife on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Yeah.
Because 4 kids, depending on how old they are, don't mess around and let them be in some type of activity. Y'all just passing each other, and then you look up on Friday and be like, I do got a wife.
Yeah. I remember you.
Yeah, right. So that's all intertwined. While you trying to get to know these kids and gain their trust, you still got to keep up with what your lady got going on. And they sound like the Brady Bunch. Like it was 2 and 2. So
yeah,
they've been jumping through hoops trying to get that together on top of everybody spending money.
It ain't easy.
And see, man. The stepkids is just like they mama, right? You spending money while you getting to know her, right? All right. So while you getting to know them kids, they want to go to the movies. They want a 10-piece lemon pepper all flat too. So there you go.
Hey, that's why they cut you off. Look, that's why they don't want you to talk.
It's ugly everywhere I go.
That's why they don't want you to talk, because you're trying to give everybody lemon pepper.
See what I'm saying?
To earn trust.
Yeah. So what he said is exactly right. You will get lost trying to make sure the kids straight. So you always got to. That's why you see people playing date nights and all that. I used to think that was kind of weird. Like, hey, we're going on the date on September 5th, but now I understand. I get it.
Yeah.
Because the kids got something for you to do every day before they making your schedule.
Man, look, you don't have your time no more.
It don't. It's over with. It's over with.
If you're responsible for somebody else other than yourself, your time still gets planned off of other people.
That's right. That's right.
So I don't care what it is. It don't matter if you got a dog. Your time is obligated. You know what I'm saying? There's a chunk of it. You know what I'm saying? It might happen in pieces here and there, but at some point you give yourself to everything else that you're responsible for, and rarely get that moment alone, and even less likely going to get it alone with the person that you had the whole family with.
Right. Yeah, because it's always something. Like you have to damn near schedule everything. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you get into some scheduled activity and somebody show up at the house 2 hours early.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they call the phone talking about, hey, open the door. Like, no, you ain't supposed to be here till 1.
Hey, you just got a bunch of cock blockers in your house.
It's ridiculous, man. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? They professionals at it too, man. I think they know what they're doing.
You think so?
Because it's selfish. You got to think about it, right? If you already got You know what I'm saying? You with your lady, she got 2 kids, right?
Yeah.
You think them 2 kids want y'all getting some alone time and bringing in the 3rd piece of the pie? They don't want that. That's hate. That's just pure hate. Let's just call it what it is. Let's talk
They
about
just
it.
hate. Hey,
That's
they
what
just
it
hate.
is. Yeah. And then they look at you in the morning with the side eye. They snickering at you, buddy.
Yeah.
They know
Like,
you ain't get no cutty last night.
yeah, they know you didn't get a chance to slap uglies.
Right, you ain't get no cutty last night. And they knew they prevented you from getting them.
Hey, no code.
It's terrible, man.
Yeah. Man, the the scenario with you know what I'm saying, trying to establish trust, that's a big piece of it right there, because if you ain't got that trust, they just gonna hate you out the box.
It's nothing you can do, man. It's nothing you can do. If they not messing with you, they ain't messing with you.
No.
And you got to get you got to get them on some level, because it's just gonna be tension, man. And don't nobody want to walk around like that every day.
No,
Like, you
no.
already go to work and you know what I'm saying, you got, that's wild. Not that type of tension, but this nigga's crazy. This nigga's crazy.
Well, hold up. You walked that conversation there because you just talked about, you know what I'm saying, how they can hate you out the box. And then you say you can't walk around with that tension. And I'm like, well, what kind of tension we talking about?
No, I'm talking about like you know, animosity in the air. Not.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's what I mean, man. Like, not you a wild dude. You a wild dude. Not that type of tension, man. That's no. See, that's another con. You laughing, but stepdaddies can go to jail, right? So I can give you this scenario, right? Say you not doing the greatest at earning that trust. These are women step kids, right? Say they teenagers. They not really jiving with you, right? Hey, man, one false move, they can get you out of here.
Bro, I've seen clips in social media posts and articles where children have lied on stepfathers.
Will get you out of here, man. All she gotta do is go tell mom, I don't like how you looking at me. She mess around and tell somebody else in the family that you got a problem. They gonna get you out of here. So it's tricky. You got to deal with them, right? If these are teenage women,
oh man,
they got friends coming over. All of that, dog. You gotta tiptoe around all of that, right? And I've taken trips with my stepchildren and their female friends. All of that is just it's dangerous territory.
All day.
One false move and you going left, and nobody wants to hear from you.
No, because you in
a
situation. Because in that situation,
once your name hit the paper for that, you better hope they get your bail quick, because they're gonna scuff you before you get to clear your name.
Facts. You out of there.
So that's one thing to think about, man. Don't one false move. Hey, mom, I don't like how he looking at me.
That's why that trust factor is so important.
Yeah.
Because if you can't build a strong relationship with the kids and it not be supported, also, you got to go.
Yeah. And at some point, it's going. Yeah, they will get you out the paint, and they kids will get you out the paint quicker. They can get you out the paint quicker than anybody else.
Way easier.
Yeah, and you can be gone by lunchtime, buddy.
Facts. And that's when the communication is real effective, which brings us up to number 5. Because all of a sudden, when they can't talk to you, they can talk to everybody else in the family. You know what I'm saying? And they done already put a plan together to get you up out of there.
Yeah, then when you wonder why you show up to Thanksgiving, there ain't no food. Because they might set it on you at Thanksgiving.
Yep, you're right.
Because the kid, the word done got back that this kid ain't really kicking it with you, and at that point, you could not have done anything wrong. But my advice would be, hey, it might be time to find some other living arrangements.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man, because you don't want to see that potential threat through. That might cost you some bread you don't want to spend.
Yeah, that is a man. Look, to have your freedom compromised because somebody just wants you out of there.
Yeah, you gotta think about it. That's why you got to pick. You got to show them pick your battles, because that might not be what's right for you to fight for in that moment. Because you're gonna take a L.
Man, you're gonna take the L.
Yeah, and it's hard to turn that L into a W, man. It's expensive.
Yeah,
It's expensive. So all of those things, man, you have to make it clear from. You got to draw that line in the sand, who you are, so they know what type of person they're dealing with. That way, they know how to react to what you're saying. But you also got to let them know that it ain't nothing but some discipline over here. Like, I'm not with any of the extracurricular activities.
yeah, man. I don't see how you could approach the back half of your life, even the front half. You know, I wish I had the discipline
Should
that
be
I
the
had.
back half.
Yeah, it would. You're like, come on, man. Like, I wish I had the discipline and the vision, you know what I'm saying, that I have now, way back when. And you know, I think everybody says that if they knew then what they know now, whatever.
Right.
But like you don't learn your worth until you stumble through it.
Yeah.
And when you start understanding, like, you don't have to accept certain, you know what I'm saying, behavior from people just to have a relationship. A lot of people don't get that lesson.
That's right.
A lot of people don't get that lesson at all. So they stumble into situations that's survival oriented. So they keep meeting nothing but survival people in survival mode.
That's right.
And so you're gonna run into a lot of blended families on that frequency.
Yep.
Because people still trying to figure it out. They winging it. Everybody's winging it at some level. You know what I'm saying? Because until you discover purpose, anyway, you know what I'm saying. You just winging it.
Yeah, and a lot of times people feel like the best way to struggle is to struggle with somebody. I guess
Struggle with somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Let me find a struggle partner in this thing, and maybe we, you know what I'm saying, maybe we can turn this thing around. And a lot of times people do, but bringing kids along for that ride, it gets tricky sometimes. Like I say, I think one of the mother should have, or whoever the single parent is should already have a formula. Like, should already be self-sustaining.
Yeah,
like,
you should be coming in to add value.
Outside help.
You should be coming in to add value, not to be fed from what
that train should already be rolling when you get there. You shouldn't be putting wheels on that train. If that train ain't got no wheels on it, do not proceed. Like, that train need to get on the tracks. That ain't gonna be what you there for.
Like, I was talking to somebody one day. I said, there's a big difference when somebody says, hey, come help me move. And then you go to the house and they ain't even got nothing packed.
I'm leaving.
Help me pack and help me move.
Yeah. No.
Are not the same things.
They are not the same thing. And I'm not doing one of those.
One of those I'm not doing.
For. Yeah, no. But yes, that's helping somebody pack. That's two jobs.
By itself. Because you know how many times you move the same box? You gotta grab it and tape it up, load it up, slide it out the way, and tape up the top, move it into a spot that's in a staging area. You're probably gonna touch that box, you know what I'm saying, upwards of 10 times. You know what I'm saying? So you asking a lot out of people where you ask them to come help you pack your stuff up, whatever your baggage is. You know what I'm saying?
And when did you find out you was moving?
And when did you find out you was moving? And why you gotta move?
Or somebody told you was moving.
Yeah, in that situation, somebody told you was moving.
Somebody told you was moving. Yeah, I can't help you with that one. If you wait a little longer, they'll come and help you move.
They will.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna need a place too.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, if somebody told them to move, if they wait till the following morning, somebody will come help them move. You don't need to pack it. It'll just be outside.
Oh, it'll be outside.
Yeah, no worries about packing. You won't need to pack it. That's cool.
So like you gotta have some spot where, like, is it all in the garage? Is it in the, like, because where is that in the house matters. Right.
You should have a staging area. Yeah, right. You should have cleared out a space for, all right, this is what we putting all the moving stuff at.
But yeah, everybody's stuff go in the garage, and then we're gonna break it down from there.
Yeah. We're gonna back the U-Haul up here, and we're gonna sling it on this puppy.
But a lot of people don't have their stuff packed already.
I don't want to know those people.
I don't want to know those people. And that's the way I kind of like look at baggage, because we all have it. But is yours packed up? Is it ready to be moved? You know what I'm saying? Is it discarded? Have you gotten rid of the unnecessary stuff first before you decide to move? Because you got to go through.
Yeah, you got to go through this before you pack it. So I ain't never moved and not thrown anything away.
No way. I ain't never kept everything.
Yeah. So you got to go through this baggage and clear some of this out before you can even engage. Because the only people that's gonna lose is the kids in that situation, man. They don't need 6 uncles.
and the 3 special friends.
Yeah, no. That's too many people. They don't give you that many tickets at graduation.
Man, look. How you manage you so silly, man. I heard you see it. You're crazy. But when you talk about like effective communication in a blended family, and we're talking about connected that with how you manage your baggage, that's communicating too. Because if you come in and you scattered, and you're gonna be inconsistent.
Yep. All the time.
And so so as a man, you gotta hurry and get your stuff packed away, put up, discarded, and you know what I'm saying? You gotta put on your thicker set of skin too, because you're gonna get disrespected.
That's what rule number 1.
You're gonna get disrespected.
It's coming. There is no escaping it. What's the dude named Scott that just left the paragraph?
Yeah.
That's why that paragraph was so big. He didn't say it in there. It was disrespecting that story. It was
he's been disrespected before. I know he has. Yeah.
It's just par for the course, man. It's all about how you handle it. But it's coming. You gonna get it.
Because somebody gonna feel the weight.
Yeah, you gonna get it. You gonna get it, especially when you start to shift the culture. It's no different than a new basketball coach coming in and he changing the culture of the team. Yeah, y'all been running around. Y'all been running around doing whatever y'all want to do on the road trips, wilding out. Y'all in the strip clubs. Y'all getting smoked by 20 and nobody at practice, shooting around late. Nobody ain't watching film. You get a new coach in there, and it's, you know what I'm saying, he come in with an iron fist. Everybody gonna be receptive to that. Like, man, we gotta get this guy out of here. Yeah, it's the same thing, but you got to take your medicine now. This is what we're trying to lay down right here and instill in you is gonna be better for you in the future. But at that moment, hey, if I've been having my way, who is this guy?
Who is this guy?
Yeah.
And why you think he can talk to me like that? He got it backwards.
Yeah, that's gonna be the first roadblock. Now you can go and be their friend. You can try that road, but guess the disrespect still coming. It's just coming in a different way, right?
The disrespect gonna be absolutely different if you're trying to be their friend.
Yeah, because then it's gonna be disrespectful in a way like you on their level, and that disrespect right there is crazy.
Yeah, because that's what gets you beat up.
Yeah, that's the disrespect that's gonna they're gonna wear your shoes.
That's the disrespect.
Yeah, they're gonna, hey, what kind of 10 and a half? 10 and a half, that'll be what they telling you. I wear 10 and a half too.
Yeah. Hey, that's the big piece of chicken discussion right there.
See? Yeah. When you try to be their friend, oh, it's cool. Leave him the leg.
He gonna fix your plate for you.
Yeah, give him the leg. So yeah, you gotta Yeah, you gotta establish that because it will come. So you gotta pick which disrespect you want because you gonna get it. So I'd rather just meet the you ain't my daddy disrespect than I'm gonna wear your shoes disrespect.
Man, you know what? We might have to revisit this conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because I think we hit every talking point. Um, and we you know what? We could probably make this a regular staple thing as we see fit.
Yeah.
If something that fits in there because it ain't all bad.
Because I'm
But
sure every week it's gonna be something in Stepdaddy News that should be addressed.
The Stepdaddy
Oh,
News
God.
Network.
Stepdaddy
Somebody
News
click
Network.
that. Stepdaddy
we need.
News Network.
Oh man, somebody's gonna steal that.
Yeah, they are. But hey,
Stepdaddy
wherever
News
it come
Network.
from, where you heard it first, right over here on Code Talk. You know what I'm saying? On Wednesdays at 8:30. Tonight's topic was the pros and cons of, what I'm saying, being a stepfather. And we went through them all and just talked about the risks, the methodology and communication and the importance of effective communication in a blended family. And bottom line is that, hey, you got to sit down and weigh the cost on every single thing you do and who you choose to connect with. You know what I'm saying? Romantic relationships, none excluded, because all relationships require empathy for effective communication and submission. You know, like everybody has to submit to somebody else's boundaries. Even if you're leading, you still got to understand what makes your the people that support you listen to you and buy in. And so the stepfather role doesn't get championed enough for the level of human empathy that's in there. For the guys that do it for the right reasons. For the ones that don't do it for the right reasons, generally speaking, it's going to be rooted in something that is manipulative and self-serving. So,
Hey fam,
you know,
what's the stepfather scam? Like what?
hey, the stepfather scam would have to just be, what I'm saying, preying on women's emotions.
Yeah.
Because it's already, what I'm saying, been proven to be hot. It's got some fire in there.
Yeah,
So,
and I see, and that's why I think biological, like there's a relationship with the biological father, the stepfather, like y'all already have a common bond. Like, so it should be easy for y'all to relate to each other. Y'all got the same taste in box. Already.
Hey, that's a double entendre.
Yeah, you got the same
reasons.
Yeah, it's bad. Y'all got the same taste. At some point, you know what I'm saying? She sidetracked y'all. She made you want to stick around for a little bit. Like, so you should, you know what I mean? And I just think, man, that's for the overall relationship and the child development, man. Like, them two dudes got to find a way to kind of coexist with each other.
Yeah, because if they don't like those guys on that video,
somebody gonna end up dead. And see what I keep saying was the same thing we were talking about. The disrespectful children, like the daddy's been losing. Stepdad is blowing daddies away at school. The daughter sneaking dudes in. They killing daddy. Like, we gotta get our guard up, man. We are getting killed out here. We down. We down.
Hey, look. Stay dangerous. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Because, you got to really be looking at a way different way in the future. You know what I'm saying? For yourself. Just in general, like if a person is in that role and it's not being as rewarding as it should be, you can't be caught up in it where you can't see yourself.
Now? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Anymore. Because some guys going to lose their identity. Because they're in a dangerous place because they just need to cohabitate with somebody.
Easy, man. It's easy. And it's the hardest, damn near the hardest. Like, how black women say they the most disrespected people on the planet.
I don't
right?
think nobody more
Stepdaddies is
disrespected than the stepdaddy.
stepdaddies is, if they number one, stepdaddies is right there, fam. Like we got some first place votes.
1A and 1B.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we got some first place votes. Yeah, we might not have been the unanimous number one, but we got some first place votes.
Hey, how you think Joseph reacted when Jesus told him, "I'm about my father's business"? Think about that.
That's what, in response to what? What was Joseph asking him?
I don't know, but that's just one of the things. It's like you can understand it as him saying, "Hey, I don't listen to nobody but my dad."
Right, but how? But see, my question would have been, how did your father's business become mine?
Hey, that's why the only place it could have happened.
Right, because I'm out here trying to find somewhere for her to lay down with this baby that ain't mine. And they telling us it ain't no room in the inn. So we got to have the baby outside. Your baby outside. Yeah, but you about your father's business. How did his business spill over into mine? It's our business at this point, right? Because I'm responsible.
They don't care.
Nah, man. I'm responsible. Now,
meanwhile, about to say, like, biological children don't even like listen to their parents.
That's right. So you really just another person for them not to listen to. Like what? Like I came out of her body and I don't want to hear nothing she got to say. So why? I just met you 2 weeks ago. Who? What? Who are you?
Oh, you a substitute teacher.
Yeah, that's cool. But see, that's when you gotta get creative, right? Because you can't beat them. That's off the books. You women, ladies, don't let the stepdaddy beat your kids, man. You got to do that. Like me, I'm a snitch, right? If I feel like, I'm calling your mama.
I'm gonna tell on you.
I'm telling. Don't you worry. Yeah, I'm telling. I ain't gonna let her stump you out too bad. I'm gonna stop before you go too far, but I'm telling.
Mm-hmm. Man,
yeah, but you gotta make sure you gotta have your own way to get your point across, right? If it's a little friction, they might have gave you a little back talk or something. Change the passcode on the Wi-Fi or something like that.
Yeah. Man,
they might mop the ceiling to get that back.
Facts. Man, it's been a good show. You know what I'm saying? I know, like we didn't dealt with some struggle streaming on both sides. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it right here. Hey man, go ahead and let the people know, you know what I'm saying, what your final thoughts are, and we get up out of here.
Yeah, man, I think, being a stepfather, man, is a rewarding situation if you go about it the right way. And if your partner is invested in helping you be a part of their family, because that's really what it is. You the outsider. So it's just it's an awkward experience sometimes. It's a hard experience sometimes. Like we said, that disrespect coming. But if, just like anything else, if you gonna build something from the ground up, you're gonna go through all of those phases, all of those emotions. And it's the same way we're trying to build a family that you want to see prosper. So if it's work, just like anything else. The relationship is work. It's really like having two jobs at the same time, I guess. But if you gonna work to build something, it's building a family, and is no different.
Yeah, anything worth having, you gotta work hard for. This is Bobby.
It's gonna take that work. Yeah. It's gonna piss you off some days, and some days it's gonna be great days. But that's all a part of the work.
Mm-hmm. Well, man, I appreciate you being available. We're gonna be able to do this a lot more often. You know what I'm saying, soon. And want to be respectful. Yeah. Because it's happening live and in person, man. It's gonna be a good time. So hey man, I'm glad that you can show up again. and drop off some nuggets of information that can help people grow. That's watching this channel. To everybody that's participating, hey Scott, thank you for your engagement in the chat, and shout out to everybody else that had a listening ear that's over there on YouTube and on Facebook. Hey, tune in next week. Well, next week I think I'm taking off 1 week, and then the week after that, I think the next topic is. Let me see what it is. Let me see here what we got. It's pretty. I'm building up the hype for it. I think it's. I think it's the. It's not the no code one. Let me see here. Pardon me. That's why it's a live show, man.
Yes, sir.
Look, you have technical difficulties to work through. All of that. It's not easy. It's not as hard as some people think, but it still take, a lot of tech stuff that goes with it. All right, here we go. Yeah, I want to make sure I said the right thing. Next week's episode is parenting out of wedlock. Yes, and it's in line with this topic and a greater sense of communication. I will drop the link on the chat. You guys go ahead and click subscribe and follow the page, and I will see you guys next week. Hey man, he came back right in time for me to drop off. He came back. Yeah, but I still want to say it before you left. The next topic is on May 31st.
May 31st.
This internet is acting up. Parenting out of wedlock. Yeah, May 31st. Y'all go ahead and click subscribe.
Kids out of wedlock.
Parenting out of wedlock.
Parenting out of wedlock.
Guess
we're gonna go to church on that one.
Yeah. it could go a bunch of different ways, but you know what I'm saying? We out. All right, folks.